welcome to The Blended. My name is Eric. I'm here with Ann. What's up, Ann?
Hello. I feel like we're gonna be at each other's throats.
What? No. If you buck. What? No. If you buck. All right. Let's just lay some rules of engagement.
Okay.
Down, right?
Let's
just talk about what's going on.
Okay.
So,
what are the rules of engagement? Let's just start there.
Rules of
right?
engagement.
So I'll break it down. But waiting on the moment when your daughter, totally above board age-wise, is going to bring somebody home.
Gee, that's not even a voice.
You had an idea of your head of how this would go. You feel like your daughter took that away from you.
I wish I had
Correct?
one of those. I wish I had one of those. I'm gonna buy one of those pads where you hit the thing and it's like, oh, right now, yo. If you didn't make it sound gangster. Yeah. I was looking at one the other day at the store. All right.
Oh my God.
So what do you do? Like, so here I have this. My daughter's awesome. She's a good kid, strong.
Right. No one's saying otherwise.
Right. She's a good kid. College, getting ready to graduate this year. Never really gave me no issues. Has been obedient.
Right.
She thinks she knows everything. So we bumped heads.
I wonder where she gets that from.
I know. Probably her mom. And so, but what happens when you feel like all your life you're waiting on a few moments? You know, like I'm waiting on the moment when she says, Dad, he's asked me to marry him.
Right.
And then I'm like, oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Then I showed her my wife, check this account that I've had.
Right.
And that's real. Like, check this account.
Ready
that we
for
had.
the wedding.
Yeah, like I got a straight, like $100.
At least. Minimum. I got you at least one centerpiece at the wedding.
Yo, not the whole table.
Got the centerpiece.
I got the centerpiece. But, so you wait for those things to come.
Right.
Right? And you're like, yeah, when it comes, I think, we daddies dream. We dream of these moments.
It's not just moms.
No, we dream of these moments, right? But before those married moments comes, your little girl comes to you and says that I have a boy. I'm thinking about this boy. Now, I've always planned with my daughters. It hasn't worked yet. And unfortunately, it still hasn't worked. Mm-hmm. But I've always planned this idea that when you meet a boy and you like this boy, and maybe you and the boy are preliminary.
Right, you're dating. You're dating.
Yeah, you're
figuring each other out. Because
Kinda,
it's like anything else. Like, you don't bring the guy you just went on a first date on to the parents. You don't do that. There has to be a time where you decide, okay.
Kind of vet him.
Right. Before you bring him to,
Right. So I've always said, like, I stay out of the way of those things.
Right.
And I promote, please don't bring me no Rudy Poo.
Right.
Dusty.
Yeah. Well, that's something else you got to consider too. Like, if I'm figuring this person out.
Is he dusty?
Right.
Yeah. Was he clean and then he makes this silly decision
right.
and now he's dusty?
Or
that happens overnight sometimes.
Maybe he's on the mend. Right.
Right.
Maybe he's
right.
getting the dust off.
Yeah.
And I got to give him time to wash his clothes and get right.
Yeah, with somebody else.
Right.
Right, yeah, because I would hope that my none of my daughters would be washing nobody's clothes and getting them right.
Correct.
Because that's impossible. Right? You can't wash nobody's clothes and get them right. So always remember, that's not your job, right? Your job is to...
Tide, you can have your advertisement here.
Yeah, exactly. Right, exactly. So, the journey.
Yeah. So
what a disappointment the other day when... My daughter started this journey off right, telling me about this boy. Mm-hmm. She's like, Dad, I met this boy.
Yes.
And we did the preliminary. Mm-hmm. And he asked me to be his girlfriend. Mm-hmm. And I said yes. And I'm like, word? Okay.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I'm thinking, all right. So I said to her, okay, cool. When do I get to meet him? And I said, it was a Saturday when she told me this. I said, okay, I'll drive down Sunday.
Oh, you were willing to make a commute to meet this man?
Of course.
Wow.
Right.
Okay, that's more committed than I would expect you to be to this.
No. Okay. If you say, because remember, the backstory is...
You know what it is? You know what it is? You know what it is, Gus? You at this point know your daughter so well. You trust her judgment.
I do.
And if you truly believe and trust in her judgment, so much so that if this guy has made it to this point, you know he's right.
And if she tells me about him,
right,
I mean, she told me about somebody in passing before, but she was just like, it's passing.
Yeah.
Like I'm.
Yeah.
Like, but when you say to me that he asked me to be his girlfriend, and I think it's important without placing my eyes on him.
Right.
Right. He gets a half a check.
Okay.
Which can be a full check mark if I look in his eyes and he's a good person.
Right.
Because you're not assuming. Mm-hmm. You know, you're not like hanging out and now you just assume that's my girl.
Right.
So that shows me a tad bit of respect.
The fact that he asked her.
Yes.
Will you be my girlfriend?
Yeah,
the fact that he actually asked that question.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Right. Again, I put the disclaimer on until I see his eyes. Mm-hmm. You get a half a check, a full check. Or then that's just some bullshit and that's some game.
Right.
And I got to see all that too in your eyes.
Right, yeah.
But anyway, so we get to that stage. And then I get a text message the other day. And it was like, Dad, the young man is in town. I'm golfing with Sevy, preparing her for this golf tournament she has coming up. And I'm going to go hang out with him. So I'm like, oh, okay. So of course my mind starts kind of getting a little, what do you mean you're going to hang out with him? Like, he's in my hood. He's in my town.
Okay, stand by. Tiempo perdido. Time out.
Here we go with the drama, y'all.
No. Because I'm just trying to understand scenario here. Are you saying that he should have checked in with you? Being in town.
I'm saying
he needed to check in.
I never met him before.
Okay.
So if I haven't met him before, I'm thinking when you came into my hood in my town, one of you, ideally my daughter, should have said, yo, we got to see my dad.
Was that something that was ever discussed?
Of course.
So you discussed with her, listen, when it
all
comes
their lives, this
time,
is all part of the plan.
Got you.
This is all the giggly McSquiggly shit.
So you prepared them and it was just underwhelming for you. The whole thing should have been, you had an idea of how it should have gone and it didn't go that way.
Well, yeah, because like, first of all, I'm all hyped up that my girl, she's 20 years old. She is a woman. She's strong. She handles her business. And I'm like, okay, you came to me and told me about this dude. I'm like, all right, okay, cool. This is what's up. This is what's up. But then you hit me with the underwhelming. Is that what you said?
Underwhelming.
You hit me with the underwhelming and didn't finish the journey that we started ever since you were a little girl. That we've talked about. Like, you bring him to my table. Let him see my eyes. It wasn't just in a boyfriend package. I remember when we were in school. I remember she was the girl that said, no, I want you to meet my teachers, Dad. Because I want them to know. Yeah. Like, number one, you see my dad.
Right.
He has my back.
Yeah.
Right? And you can't just come and say, if this happens, I'm going to let your dad know. Because my dad already kind of has a feeling of who you are.
Is there a grace period for that for you? Or if you feel like if your boyfriend
there wasn't a grace period until I thought I had an ally in my brother. And my brother already been through, he has older daughters.
Right.
Right? So we're having this conversation and he's just kind of like, he's saying these other things and I'm like, oh. It makes you think, is there a grace period? Am I being 1972? Is my feeling? No, I have to say I was underwhelmed. Thank you.
Yeah.
I love that. I have to say I was underwhelmed. That I thought this moment was getting ready to happen and we were getting ready to go on this small little journey. Mm-hmm. She knows her dad. I'm not, make sure you take care of my daughter or I'm going to beat you. That's not my style. So none of those things, or maybe she don't know that. I don't, at this point, I'm like, what does she think? My mind is...
Well, did you ask her? Did you say, okay, well, are we going to meet? Or did you not feel as comfortable? Did you not want to be the one to bring that up? Did you want her to bring it up?
I was aggravated.
Okay.
I was aggravated because it went there from that to just segue into the next day. And I was aggravated. And I was like, why would you take that from me? Like, why would you not complete this task that we've started from back in the day of and my philosophy has always been, hey, bring him to me, let me see his eyes, because he is a grown man, and let him see my eyes.
What we have here is a bungled boyfriend rollout.
A bungled boyfriend rollout.
Okay.
On the blended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And then
Okay.
And then of course I start looking at everybody.
Everybody's a suspect now.
Yo, Kaiser Sose up in this mother sucker, yo.
Everybody's a suspect.
Yo, I was Kaiser
Some
Sose
funny
up in
stuff.
it. For real. Because I'm looking at my oldest and I'm like, did you go out to lunch? Did you go out to dinner? Because she came home late. Normally she's like, oh, I'm hanging out. I'm coming over. I'm hanging out with the fam. And I'm like, I went to bed. Nobody was home. I'm like, are you guys out to dinner?
So now you feel like something's going on behind your back.
Right.
Okay, I feel like this is going to be difficult to hear. I feel like, to me, there was a certain respect your daughter wanted to show you in saying, I know you trust me, so I know this is important, and I feel comfortable sharing it with you because we have this level of understanding. So I'm going to tell you, I'm taking someone seriously enough to call him my boyfriend. That being said, not entirely comfortable with the meetup yet, is what it sounds like to me.
Why wouldn't you be comfortable with the meetup, though?
Sounds like to me you have to look inward, because even you just said maybe she doesn't know that I'm not going to curse him out and tell him you hurt my daughter, I'm going to kill you, right?
Yeah, but I think she knows that's not my style.
Well, something's going on here because
I'm smoother than that.
You would think, but I don't know. All I know is it sounds like there's something that needs to be discussed here that is being unsaid.
Then I'm looking at my wife too.
Because it seems like everybody else is in on this but you.
No, I didn't say everybody else. This could be paranoia destroyer.
Oh,
Like,
see,
I don't.
you're not presenting the facts properly.
No, I'm just saying. I said I'm looking at everybody.
Everyone's a person of interest.
Yo, everybody's a person of interest, and I'm like, where were you? I'm looking at my wife like, why are you so quiet, yo? I'm like, good night, go. I'm going to bed, yo. I ain't get no sleep. No sleep. And because you know what, as a daddy, and maybe I'm not gonna say as a dad, I'm saying me, the daddy.
Yes.
I'm thinking, I don't know nothing about this kid. And
you're a part of my daughter's life now on a more serious level.
You're out and about with her right now. Something happened right now. Would I be able to identify? Would I be able to say, this is, I wouldn't know nothing.
Right. He's 5'10",
I wouldn't know nothing.
stocky, but
yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, I wouldn't know nothing.
Yeah.
So for me, that drives my mind crazy. Again, it's like I look and, and I'm just like, it just drives me crazy.
You know what I'm hearing here?
No, but I'm sure you're going to tell me.
I sure am. You just don't stop daddying. Mm-mm. No matter how old they get. 20 years old, a graduate from college, going on to, graduate school, and you don't stop daddying.
It's very difficult to have that transition. I mean, I think
because I imagine you view her as an adult, but only semi. Because I'm assuming she's still on the payroll.
Heavily.
So it's difficult, I think, to see a child as a full-on adult until they're really independent, especially financially.
But I really feel like I've come away from that ideology.
Okay.
I do lean back to that, but I beat myself because, like I told her a couple days ago, maybe a week ago, I am so super proud how you went up to college.
Yeah.
You handled this thing.
Yeah.
I mean, she went to school when she was 17.
Yeah.
You've handled it. Mm-hmm. No drama.
Yeah.
Financially, me and her mom take the brunt.
Yeah.
But we kind of do it with a smile on our face because she never did the...
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with this. She's still, she's in school. She's, I wouldn't have been able to take care of myself at 20 years old. That's crazy. I was living with my, parents when I got out of college and then, found myself a job and then I got myself together. But I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I do understand being in that weird, I'm dipping my toe in the water as an adult, but still under my parents' roof situation. it is an odd thing to try to manage.
Yeah, like
and
I'm an adult dipping in my toe in the water that they bought.
Right. And so when you add
that level of responsibility.
Right. When you add a partner in this, when you add a boyfriend in the mix, it's also like, I have a right to do this. I'm 20 years old. I'm grown. But still got to come home to mom and dad at the end of the day. There's still going to be questions I'm going to have to answer.
Right.
And I've just been at college, so maybe I don't want to answer them because I feel like I've been doing me for the last 4 years. You know, so I don't think it's as easy as it may seem on paper.
Right.
So unfortunately, this did not go as planned for you as a daddy. You can't exactly check this milestone off the way you would have wanted to.
No, she's out the will. I have a client that every time something happens, he says to me, "I've changed my will again." I'm like, yo, you changed your will, boy, a bunch of times.
Okay, so this is kind of being to be continued.
Yeah, because I'm like, get it together, man. Like, underwhelming.
Okay, wait. Let's leave it on this note. Yeah. Let me leave it on with a question. When you do end up meeting him, when there is some resolve here, are you going to hold this against him that he didn't say, "I'm in town, I need to meet your father," and it wasn't her making him do it, or that she decided not to make that move, or whatever the case may be? Is it a strike against him?
No, I don't think it's a strike against him because, again, I am 47. Mm-hmm. We're talking about a few different generations differently. Full disclosure, though, I might want to know about his dad and his mom. Like, I might want to know, like...
What does that tell you about him?
I mean, and I'm not judging. I'm just keeping it 100 on my podcast. Because I feel like I can keep it 100. Although
my podcast, I can say what I want.
Yeah. Most times you have to pull it out of me, but...
Seriously, all talk.
I know.
Air.
I know. But when Lawson, my son, he liked this girl.
Okay.
Give you an example. He liked this girl. And I said to him, he said, "Dad, I want to do this and that and this and that." And I said, "Oh, okay. What do you think her dad thinks about that?"
Ooh, you're raising a man. You're not raising a boy. You're raising a man.
I said, "What do you think her dad would think about that?"
Mm-hmm.
Now, I said, reverse that and think about somebody saying that about Sevi.
Right.
I said, ask yourself those questions.
Right.
Because a father's going to ask you those questions.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's going to happen. He's going to ask you those questions. So if you're comfortable with answering those questions, he started giggling. Like, Dad, I'm only 11. Exactly. That's my point.
That's a perfect age to start these conversations, though.
Right.
The perfect age, because he's going to know what to do when the actual time comes.
Right.
Versus learning it in real time.
Yeah, because
he's going to I went through this preliminarily before.
Right.
Little baby girl, baby boy love.
Yeah, little middle school jump off that he's getting ready to get into because he's going to middle school, and I can hear it. He's a good-looking boy, gets it from his mama.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's strong like his daddy. So... as I prepare him, I really look forward to those moments where he's like, "Dad, how do I handle this?" Well, dude, you're in 8th grade. Mm-hmm. What do you think that dad is thinking?
Yeah.
You think you're just gonna roll up and you're just gonna be clandestine hanging out with her?
No,
we don't roll like that.
Dad's gonna say, "Where'd you get the flowers from?"
Yeah, where you get the flowers from? Like, what do you mean you're going? Who is this young man? You think that's what the dad wants to do? Or do you think the dad wants you to have some courage?
Yeah.
If we're getting ready to do these things, like, I'm gonna kind of like let your dad see me. I'm gonna
meet your dad at pickup today.
I'm gonna meet your dad at pickup and shake his hand. Back in the day,
hey, Mr. Smith, my name is Lawson.
My name is Lawson. Like, there was a young boy back in the day from one of my daughters that liked one of my daughters. Of course, they didn't pick him. That young man came I came into school. Mm-hmm. That young man came all the way down the steps. It's almost like he planned it all day. He planned it all day to come down, look me square in my eye and say, "Hello, Mr. Armstead, I'm such and such."
Wow.
I'll never forget that. And I looked at him, I said, "Hey, what's going on, young man?" I think we had like a couple seconds of conversation and
Right.
it was gone.
Yeah.
But you know what he set the tone for? He set the tone that if I ever heard that name, if one of my girls said,
"Oh, I like Ryan," you'd be like, "Oh,
Ryan.
He seems like a decent little dude."
you know what else he set the tone for? This is funny. You know what else he set the tone for? Every time my daughters talked about some boy, I asked the question, are you talking about, oh, no. Oh, okay. Are you talking about, no.
You were looking for him.
I'm looking for him. Like, do I hold it against him? No, I don't hold it against him.
There's a bar though he's not quite meeting at this juncture.
Like you come to my hood and you don't, like your mind ain't snapping like, I mean, like, where's your dad at? Like, and so it goes back to my old school way of thinking is when
I don't think that, you know what? You're going to be surprised. I don't think any of this is old school.
No?
I think that if I had children, I was in the same scenario.
Right.
And my daughter, whom I love and respect and whose judgment I trust,
Right.
came to me and said, I am taking someone seriously enough to call them my boyfriend.
Right.
And let's say I met him at school and now he's going to be in town doing whatever. Yeah, I would be like, I want to meet this person.
Right.
This person's a part of your life. You have chosen to take this person on as someone that is going to be by your side.
Right.
Right? So while you guys aren't getting married or moving in or any of these gigantic relationship milestones.
Which we know that because we're older, like I told my wife the other day, we know how quickly things escalate.
Right. Yeah.
And you're talking about I'm a lion, and you're talking about now being with a lion.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we know how quickly, whether you know it or not,
right?
We know how things quickly escalate.
We all know how these things play
I mean,
out.
we go from today, yeah, tomorrow, kind of love you.
Yeah.
Next day, I think it would be smarter. Why are you paying rent for when you could be doing this? Next day after that, boom, 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 boom.
It happens quick.
Come on, we know.
But, at the same time, maybe she doesn't know. Well, not only not knowing that type of stuff,
right.
it can happen quickly, but maybe she doesn't know that, she's really willing to take this person on. Maybe she's saying, yeah, I like him enough to call him my boyfriend, but I'm still feeling him out. Maybe she's in that. Maybe she's like, I'm not ready to commit.
I give her too much credit.
Maybe she knows that truly the introduction of the parents is a true commitment to him that maybe she's not ready for.
No, but the introduction to me, and not the standard I set, the way her particular mind works. A little bit of standard I set, but the way her mind works, she don't play a whole lot of games in picking these things and picking her friends.
Yeah.
She don't play.
She sounds like me. It's very black and white.
It's very black and white.
Yeah,
You're my homie, and I'm a love on you.
Right.
And if you happen to start living a different lifestyle that's not committed to how I live,
then I'm gonna see myself out.
I'm gonna see myself out, and I mean, I got no problem with you.
Yeah, do you?
But we just live differently.
But I can't be aligned. Yeah.
Yeah, we can't. I cannot be aligned, right?
Yeah.
So if you say to me, Dad, this is this,
then you know it's for real.
Come on, yo.
Then the question, I think you, in that case, rule that out. You got to look inward.
When I look in the mirror, I'm asking myself, what did I present? What makes me stutter? Like, what did I present myself? Who do I present myself as? Or who do you see your father as? And how do I view you? Number one, do you not know I view you as having good morals and good standards and good decision making?
And that I trust your choices.
Do you not know when you told me that I was borderline excited for you? Because not that I'm not any longer, just underwhelmed, but I refer to that multiple times. But do you not know that I trust your judgment? And all we need to do is clean some things up, finish some things up.
You know what, though? We can't always get it right the first time. Sometimes we bungle a rollout. And, that's okay.
The bungled rollout.
The bungled boyfriend rollout.
Yeah. I made that up, y'all. I made that up.
BBR, bungled boyfriend rollout.
Yeah, the bungled boyfriend rollout. But, like you said, to be continued, right? Because this is a journey that we're getting ready to go on, and that's the blended, babe.